Hello friends, today in this live stream I will be talking about the classes and objects inside your JavaScript, regular JavaScript. So basically, as you see in Java or C++, we have a concept called as object oriented programming. Similarly guys, we can even have classes inside our JavaScript as well. Let me show you a very simple example. So we can even have object oriented programming in JavaScript also. So we will be taking a very simple example of a simple class and an object. So let's suppose I include the JavaScript here, which is, let me call this as script.js, and here we will include this file. Let me create this file script.js. So inside this file guys, we will have a simple method. We will declare a class of user, and in this class guys, basically we will define some variables which will be for the name, marks, and you can define some more variables. Let's suppose country, like this. So here you can't define this. You need to define these variables in the constructor. So a class has its own constructor guys. So constructor will receive these arguments, which is name, marks, and subject, like this. These are the three variables which will be there inside this user class guys. So I think the U should be capital here. So as you can see here guys, basically we have this simple class here. We can simply use this keyword guys. This dot name is equal to name, this dot marks is equal to marks, and this dot subject is equal to subject. So we are initializing this class variables guys, because you can see that this is passed in the constructor function. So every JavaScript class has its own constructor function like this, and basically we can define some methods also. So this method will be simply be getting the, we can have a get name method here. We can declare this method like this, get name. So this will return out the name for us. So this will be this dot name. And similarly we can say get marks. So this will return out the marks for us. So we can simply say return this dot marks. And similarly guys, we will have for the subject as well. So this dot get subject, and this will return this dot subject. That's it. So these are the three functions we have defined guys. You can see that we have the constructor function. We are passing these three things, name, mark, subject. We are initializing it, and then we are getting this. So this is our whole class. So now to create a simple object of this class guys, what we can simply do is that we can simply say, we can call this as a object1, and we can initialize a new constructor. We will call this new user, instantiating a new object of this class. So here we need to provide arguments here. So let me provide the name as John Williamson, the name of the student. Marks, let me provide here 56, and subject, let me call this as computer science. So we have one student out there guys, you can see that. So basically if I say here, if I execute, let me want to print out the name. So what we can say is that console log the name of the student. Please hit the like button guys, subscribe to the channel as well. So what we can say is that we can simply say the name of the student will be, we can call this method which is declared here by get name. So this will return out the full name of the student. So we will simply say the name of the student is, and then we can simply say here this dot, sorry, obj1, it contains a method which is get name. So we will call this method. So now if you reload the application guys, what will say is that it will print out the name of the student in the console. So if you just go to inspect element, go into the console here, you will see the name of the student is John Williamson. You can see that. So we have initialized our JavaScript class, guys. You can see that we have the class here. If you have any sort of questions, guys, you can even ask the questions in the live chat. Let me take all your questions as well. Top of the chat. Please hit the like button, subscribe the channel. Lightning Bolt is saying, hello brother, I am following from Turkey. So thank you very much. I am from India. So following this from Turkey here. So this is the JavaScript classes, guys. I am just showing to you guys how we can initialize the classes in JavaScript. Man, I love you so much. Thank you for all the help. Can we have leave question here? Don't forget yo. Yeah. So thank you very much. So we have this JavaScript class, guys. You can see we have the constructor. We are passing three things here, which is the name, marks, and subject. We are initializing it by the this keyword. So you have recently seen this keyword, guys. You can see that it is used in Java as well. This keyword refers to the variables which are initialized in this user class, like this. uh, why you are GE? What is GE? Bro, can I work open source by JavaScript? Yeah, definitely, Shubham, you can do open source. What is GE? I don't know what is GE. What is GE? You can see we have declared some methods also to get the actual name, marks, and the subject. You can now see. And then we have initialized a new constructor by passing the object like this. You are GE. What is GE? But where, in which slide, bro? So basically, guys, you can declare another object as well. You can create multiple objects passing the same things here. It's mean. Can we do full object oriented project? Yeah, definitely you can do it. And then you can even say here, so basically you can even provide here like this, maths. So this is the second object. You can repeat this thing for the second one as well. So you can simply now call this obj2, and this time we can get the subject, get subject, like this. So if you now refresh it, you will see here basically. So the name of the students is maths. So basically you can see it is returning out the subject name that was initialized here, which we have passed here, which is maths. So this is a very simple way by which you can see that Abhay is saying that, bro, the Omegle bot you have created, how to stop it? You can stop it manually. There is no way to stop it automatically by code, but you can stop it manually. Just stop it. Actually, I don't know. So this is a way by which you can create classes, guys. You can create methods as well. So let's suppose you can even contain an array as well. Let's suppose you pass this is a actual array that we are passing here. So what we can simply assign this as a array as well. So let's suppose we are passing it as an object. We can even pass a object, full object as well. So let me create an object here. Pass an object, full object as a third argument. We can pass a full array. So this can be an array as well. It can be maths, computer science, and let's suppose English as well. So you can even call back hell. I will explain it in the next live streams. You can see we have also passed here 3 parameters here in the array here. Now you can receive this we are initializing it, and then we are returning this. You can now see. If you now call this obj.getSubject, so now this is in, you can see the name of the student is maths, computer science, English. So you can see that, guys, how it is printing out the array like this: maths, computer science, English. So 2-3 open source can be github.com. Basically GitHub is all over the open source bucket Git, bitbucket.com. So all these are open source websites where you can find free source code. So that's why I'm telling you, this is the array that you can see that, guys. Basically, you can even pass an object, guys. So let's suppose I create an object here. After that, what about RPM? I think it is NPM, not RPM. So let's suppose we have a number class, sorry, table. So in the constructor, you will only pass the number. So we will simply say this dot number is equal to number, and we need to calculate the table. So there is a function here which is calculate table. So we will calculate the table by using a for loop. This dot number I plus plus. So here we can simply return out. So I think, guys, I have shown you how to declare classes and objects. Then we have a simple modules. So what are modules in JavaScript, guys? What are modules? Modules are nothing but it's a piece of code that you can export or import. So module is nothing but a bit of code that you want to divide into separate pieces of code. So if you have a large application, if you want to divide your code into smaller modules, then basically you can use the modules. For that, we need to change the script type parameter to, there is a type parameter, you need to initialize it to module. So now this JavaScript file is a module. So we have provided this type parameter to module. After this, we can simply import different modules here. Let's suppose I declare a file called as user.js. So inside this file, guys, we define a function which is simply a simple function which is print message. This is the function we are defining it, guys. This is the arrow function. So you pass this a variable, guys, which is message. So we are simply printing this message on the screen. So console log message. And now we need to export this. So we can simply export default print message like this. So we are exporting this message, guys. So now we need to include this inside this file. So how we can import this? We can simply write here import print message from the user file like this. Now we can simply call this method print message, and we can pass hello world here like this. If you now execute this application, guys, what will happen here? It will simply print this in the console. If you see, it is saying, let me see, script type module. As you can see, we are including it from this user.js. If you just refresh it, so you can see that, guys, hello world is printed out. So you can now see we have printing out here inside script.js, user.js. You can see we are just we don't need to console log it. It is already console logging it, so we don't need to console log it. Simply we need to write the function name, pass the argument which we need to print out. So it is calling this function here, it is console logging this message on the screen. So if you just refresh it on the now, check the console, you can see hello world is printed out. So in this way, guys, you can use the import and the export statement inside your regular JavaScript. This is not regular JavaScript, this is ES6 JavaScript code. So we have binded this property which is type is module. So this translate with the help of this module, if I remove this attribute, I will get an error. I can't use regular JavaScript. You will see that it will get this cannot use import statement outside a module. So this file should be a module so that we can use those import and export statements. So it should be a module. Now we can use that hello world. So with the help of that, guys, basically you can divide your application so that you don't write all the code in a single file. You can divide your code, and based upon that you can import the important functions from different files. So this is the actual use case. Basically, let's suppose you want to make a calculator, so you can define all the functions in different files and import it. You can define your function here. There can be unlimited number of functions. Let's suppose I have add number function that I write. It takes two numbers and basically it returns the sum of two numbers. So it returns number 1 plus number 2. So we also need to export this. So what we can do is that we can simply write a line here, module.exports, and this time we can export multiple functions like this. Now to import them, we can simply write here print message add number. So we can now say console log. We can pass here call this function. We can pass 4 and 5. So what it is doing, it will calculate the sum. 5 plus 4 is equal to 9. So it is calculating the sum and it is printing out. So requested module user.js doesn't provide an export named add number. Add number. So I think how we can these are the modules here. I think you don't need to write like this. You can simply here export, and then there can be a function out there. We can simply say print message add number like this. So you can see that hello world and 9 is printed out. So let's suppose you want to also export some variables, guys. Let's suppose I want to export this variable which is name hello world, export it from different file. This is a variable. We can even export numeric values as well. I write here age is equal to 56. So we can even import these variables age and this name as well. So now we can simply use these functions. We can console log name and age. So we can simply import these comma age comma number, name. So just if you refresh it, guys, you will now see exported from different file 56. So you can export methods, variables, everything. You can even export an object. You can also export an array. Anything you can export it. You can also export like this, export. You don't need to add them like this. You can simply say export. And let's suppose you create an object, let details, there is an object, it contains 3 properties, name, age, 45, like this. You can even export this object as well. Anything you can export this and import it. This is the import and export statement that I wanted to show you. This is very much useful inside your application. So So you can see that this is an object which is imported from a different file, and these are a very good feature, guys, which is JavaScript modules, because it basically divides your application into multiple files so that you don't need to write your whole code in a single file. So this makes it very much easy. So I have shown you in this live stream, guys, what are object oriented classes, objects in JavaScript, what is modules in JavaScript. If you like this video, please hit that like button, subscribe the channel as well. If you're watching it for the very first time, please hit that like button, subscribe the channel as well. I'm seeing that people are not liking the content. Please hit that like button, subscribe the channel as well. So I will be seeing you in the next video.